Hello friends, and thank you for joining me here at Non-Toxic Home. I'm glad that you are here. If I seem a little bit off, number one, mosquitoes are attacking me right now. And number two, I've got a cold, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to share with you, I've been promising to share with you, God willing, for quite some time about the foraging resources that I use. I've got just a handful of books here. I've evaluated a number more. I wanted to evaluate more before I shared a specific video on this topic. As the worldwide food supply is decimated, and this is a worldwide event, then you're going to need to be creative. We have an article on our website, Creative Food Sources, as supply chain shortages loom or something like that. I'll link to it below. But foraging is just one potential option, and of many. But I strongly recommend foraging. A lot of people will tell you, well, here's my affiliate link, go stock up $500 US on this toxic survival food, okay? No, don't do that. Go, if you got $500 US, spend it on this. Nobody can take away what's in here. People can take away your stockpile. I don't care how many guns you have. People can still take that away, okay? Nobody can take away what's in your brain. Nobody can take away what's in your corona. So work on that if you're going to be working on worldly things. This book here is Edible Wild Plants, a North American Field Guide to Over 200 Natural Foods. This is beneficial as a secondary source, in my opinion. As a primary source, I don't like it as much, but you know, it is informative. Oh, actually, here's my favorite one right down here. Lady's Thumb. That's my favorite weed of all. I love Lady's Thumb. I talk about Lady's Thumb a lot, I know. And I post about Lady's Thumb a lot because it's such an amazing weed and it grows in a lot of different areas. This book I do recommend. It's got, you know, little icons on the side that help you to know how it can be used. This is beneficial, and it has cautions and poisonous lookalikes. One of the real reasons that I like this book is because it has the poisonous lookalikes section for each plant that is profiled. So I do recommend this book. It's not my number one, but I do recommend it, and I do use it myself. Another one I recommend, and this is actually bottom of my list, but I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only got 5 here. This is bottom of my list, but I looked at quite a few, is Foraging for Survival, Edible Wild Plants of North America. Now, if you don't live in North America, I've got you covered, all right. I've got another book that's going to knock your socks off. It's pretty great. This here is about tasty and eco-friendly food in the wild. This is, as I said, bottom of the list for me. The pictures aren't as large as I would like. I would find it more helpful if the pictures were larger, and it doesn't have as much information, in my opinion, as far as the toxic lookalikes go. As you can see, there's quite a lot of information per item on here, but I don't need a lot of that information. Still, if you don't have access to the internet, and it's going to be harder and harder to find foraging resources online as the internet is scrubbed, it's helpful. It's something that I recommend. It's something that's helpful. Now, I talk about this book all of the time, Midwest Foraging. If you don't live in the Midwest, which includes Ontario, Canada, according to this book, by the way, then there are series. This is a series. There are other timber press books in this series for North America. I believe it includes Mexico. I believe there's one of them includes Mexico. This series has like a sister series, which is like medicinal Midwest plants or something like that. And I did actually buy the other book that I'm referring to about this, and I returned it because I found that a lot of the information that was in that book was already in this book. So I don't I would save your money. I would just buy this. I find it very helpful. The pictures are wonderful in this book. See? And the information is great. It talks about, you know, future harvests. It does offer caution for some, not as much caution as is offered in the Edible Wild Plants book, though. But I do like especially that this talks about how to gather it, how to use it. It's really great. This book, and I would assume the other ones in its series, is particularly wonderful if you're just getting started with foraging. This was my first investment in a foraging book, and it has paid off so many times. I lost the first book that I bought of this, and I love this book so much that I actually bought a second one. This is my second copy of this book. I don't know what happened to the first one. It's so weird. Now, wherever you live in the world, The Wild Wisdom of Weeds, 13 Essential Plants for Human Survival. This book, okay, so there are things I don't like about this book. All right, so the first section of this book, and as well as in regards to some of the sections about the specific plants, there's a lot of earth worship in it. And if you are like me, then you don't worship the earth. You don't worship creation, you worship the creator. However, there is a lot of wonderful information, a lot of very valid recipes, information on the different 13 weeds, the different 13 plants, green juices, face masks. What else? Oh, there's a supplement chart in here, which was really helpful. Basically, for example, for magnesium, grass, lamb's quarters, mallow, knotweed, mustard, dandelion. So if you know that you need vitamin C or if you need potassium, those sorts of things, then you can go to that chart and check that out. Also, she talks about fermentation a lot. And I'm a fan of fermentation as well. I like that as well. I'm trying to find the list of the plants, the 13 plants, because it is on the information page, so I know it's okay to share it. Okay, so 13: amaranth, chickweed, clover, dandelion, dock, grass, knotweed, lamb's quarter, mallow, mustard, plantain, purslane, and thistle. There's a lot of information in this book and a lot of different ways to use things besides just the medicinal aspect and the food aspect, such as for, I've already mentioned, like face masks and things like that. Like there's a recipe for mallow seed cheese. Very simple recipes. And it talks about sprouting. This is a very informative book. I've already told you what I don't like about it. But just because I don't like that doesn't mean that she doesn't have really wonderful information and that I wouldn't absolutely love to meet her, quite frankly. I'm sure she'd just be just a really lovely person to meet. But, you know, I've got to be honest about things. Okay, so The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. The Healing Power of Plant Medicine. This you may have seen on YouTube. If you watch YouTube, you may have seen an advertisement for it and been like me and thought, that looks like a scam. The advertisements look like a scam. I gotta tell you, I'm not sure what's up with those advertisements. They seriously do look like a scam. This book is so beneficial. It has been dualistically informative for me because, first of all, it shares about the weeds, these herbal remedies. Lots of the herbal remedies in here are naturally occurring plants, aka weeds. And it talks about the uses for them. It talks about the identification, how to harvest, warnings. It has recipes in here as well, and instructions for, you know, how to make tinctures and things like that, which I've already shared. I don't make tinctures anymore. I can't find any safe alcohol. But if you have an ailment like migraines or you know, you've got, say, cystitis, a urinary tract issue. It's got a whole list of things that you can go look at as options for you. And so this isn't just for weeds, for foraging. It's helpful for foraging, but it's also helpful for treating yourself naturally of a variety of different issues. Now, this woman apparently was diagnosed with MS and has treated herself naturally, and you know, just like anyone else with a chronic challenging illness and disease, it's not something that you're going to get over overnight. And you know, some things, not sure if they can ever be cured. You know, I cured fibromyalgia. I did that actually while I was still apartment hopping, so I know it can be done even living in toxic apartments. But apparently she was on the History Channel TV show alone and survived for 57 days straight. I really recommend this book. I think, I'm not entirely certain. Sorry, I heard someone behind me. It's a little creepy. I'm not entirely certain where I bought it from. I buy most of my books from Barnes & Noble. I will link below to Amazon, but because I'm chemically sensitive, I can't tolerate the warehouse stench that gets absorbed by books that are at Amazon. And so I order from Barnes & Noble and do pretty well. I also order from Chelsea Green directly as well. Those are the two places that I order books from. I can't tolerate used books because used books generally come with fragrance or cigarette smoke or some other kind of smoke with them. And so if you're chemically sensitive, that's where I would recommend ordering from if you can't tolerate the stuff that comes from Amazon. You know, I do order some other things from Amazon, but obviously not books, because books really absorb scents and such. So hopefully this has been beneficial to you. If so, please give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, weekly or less newsletter. Have a most beautiful and blessed day. Not Toxic out.